The last video I did of Ryder, he was unsure of carrying weight. Obviously, that's not a problem anymore. We have got, I think this video was about a week after the first video that I posted, so we've got about a week's worth of riding on him. And in that week, he figured out that he can carry the weight and then started complaining about it. And this is a real good time where if we were to get off and lunge him when he's doing this, we would be creating a horse that would have to be lunged every time it's ridden. Because if we got off and lunged him, got his mind on us, and got back on, then that's what he would learn. So we don't want to create that kind of horse. So what we'll do when he acts up, pull his head around, kick him forward, let him know that that's not acceptable behavior, so that he learns some self-discipline, that as soon as we get on, we expect his attention and we expect him to behave and his mind be in what we're asking for. So that's where we're at with him. Thankfully, he's not older than what he is. If he was, this could become a really huge problem. That's why we don't take older horses to start. Exactly this right here. Once they reach that 4-year-old year, then this gets worse than this. So he had some work on him, some riding. Well, supposedly had some riding before he came here, but when we saw him, I don't think he had much. I think it was mostly groundwork. So at this point, he has about a week of riding with us, which I think is close to what he has had. And when he wants to be good, he can be good. At this point, we are basically teaching him self-discipline. When a horse is started at that 2 or 3 year old age, you don't have this issue. They go right to work. You're able to be easy on them because they don't have the complaining that he has. Because he has this complaining, you have to be a little bit harder on him. And that is the biggest difference between starting a horse, say, as a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. And that is why starting them a little bit younger where you can go easier is what I prefer to do. But anyways, with him, we have to be just a little bit harder on him to teach him the self-discipline. Teach him to control his temper, control his attitude. And in the process, if you watch him, he steers around pretty good. He can be pretty nice in between his little temper tantrums. And you'll see him buck up several more times before this video is over. And sometimes he steers really good, sometimes he don't steer really good. So that's just the phase that we're working through with him. There's a lot of good stuff in this horse, and we just have to teach him the self-discipline to give it to us. In a minute, he's going to start trying to trot and run through Robert's hands. That eventually would create a horse that would run off. But it's a balance there. By letting him move a little bit, you kind of let him work a little bit of that energy off, but it has to stay controlled. So you'll see Robert right there, he just tipped his head to the wall. That got him slowed back down. He's not going to let him get very fast. Right there, Robert's asking him to kind of control his speed, and he's throwing a little temper tantrum again. It's all self-discipline. That's all this is. It's just complaining about being asked to do something. He's going to kind of chew on the bit a little bit, mouth the bit. That's all going to go away. And at times in this video, when he's steering good, it's not there. The only time you see that is when there's resistance. And the mouthing is just a sign of the resistance. When the resistance goes away, the mouthing goes away. It's a non-issue. That's one of the things that there's no reason to take time to work specifically on that, because when his willingness is there, the mouthingness goes away. So that's part of knowing what to work on and what to just work through. Right here, Robert's letting him trot a little bit. There, he's going to turn him. What he's going to do is if he feels Ryder start to get stiff or want to speed up, he's going to circle or change directions or something to engage his brain back on him. That's where it's really important to pay attention to his ears, pay attention to how his body feels, pay attention to what it feels like Ryder's thinking about doing. In many cases, like right there, he's kind of throwing his head. Robert stops him, backs him up. And there's some more head throwing there and some mouth gaping. Like I said, that's all going to go away. A little bit of backing up and scolding him. Now look, see how he's walking nice and relaxed. Robert has to kind of bump on him to go forward. That's a little bit of resistance there. He didn't get away with what he wanted a minute ago by trotting forward through the bit. So instead, he's going to say, well, I don't want to go. So again, it's real important that we kick on him and get him to go. That's all. Teaching him self-discipline. That's really all that is. That was a nice steer in a nice circle. And then he stopped and didn't want to go forward. Now, see right there, it's getting pretty nice. You had to work some of the edge off, teach him that his bad behavior wasn't going to get him away with anything. That's the important lesson that I'd like for you to take away in this ride. You can't let them get away with the bad behavior. You can't let them think the bad behavior is acceptable. Pulling him in a circle, kicking him forward, that teaches him that the bad behavior is not acceptable. And then he gets nice and we get nice. It's just that simple. Right thing easy, wrong thing hard. Everything is that simple. Now, this is where it's really important to not hold a grudge and not ride the horse like he's about to blow up. If you see there, Robert's really relaxed. He's not riding like he's expecting it to go bad. He's not riding like he's holding a grudge, kicking on the horse, still punishing it. When the horse is nice, you have to be nice. You have to get hard, pull and kick in a circle if the horse is trying to buck with you. But when the horse gets nice, you have to be nice. You can't hold a grudge. That's really important. And as you see, Robert's riding real relaxed. He's not hanging on like he's expecting the horse to blow apart. Then you create, the horse starts to worry about what's going to happen, what you're doing, and then at that point, you're escalating the problem. Everything that Robert has done to this point has been de-escalating the problem. And that's what we want. This is eventually going to turn out to be a nice horse. Real nice, stocky, good-looking bay. But he's got some self-discipline issues to work through. And a few other little minor things. There you just saw the tarp. Not really trying to work him over the tarp. He just turned that direction and saw it. Something else we'll have to accomplish at a future ride. Right now we just wanted to get his mind engaged on us, going in the right direction, not saying no. If we were to work the tarp right now, then we'd be giving him a good reason to say no. And that would be the wrong thing at the wrong time. Right now we need to build some trust that he understands that as long as he's nice, we'll be nice. To get him to trust us and just kind of walk easy and be a nice horse. If we was to start with the tarp now and start trying to force the tarp, or even if we don't force it, but if we're working it, and then he's going to associate us with trying to get him to do something that's scary before he trusts us. And then the tarp's going to be a major ordeal then. We have to develop some trust, some leadership first. There, he's got some nice steering. This horse has some nice stuff. It's just a matter of working through the self-discipline. That's really all that is. So I've got another video. I've got the first video we did of him. I'll put a link up here in the corner for that video on YouTube. Until next time, thank you for watching.